Now that you have seen what forms and tasks can do for your business, let's deep dive into one of its most powerful features: assigning users to perform specific tasks and submit, and assigning approvers. For this demo, we selected a common use case: hardware acquisition for new hires in an organization. First, we will build the form that will be used by any member of the HR team in our organization to submit acquisition requests, once they know that a new hire will join. Let's go to Form Designer and press Create Form. Update the name with something meaningful like New Hire Hardware Acquisition Form. Now let's start building our form structure. Drag a text input, access the settings panel, and update the name into full name. Also, update the placeholder for a better experience. Drag another input to capture employee ID to the same settings. Let's add an info text to be clear for the user that the ID must be unique. Now let's drag a select input to configure the department's list of the new hires. Set a name and placeholder. Set it required. We will also make the above inputs required. Further, we need to define the list of departments for HR to select from. Go to Data Source, select Static, and simply add the values for the list. If you have the list in a JSON format, we got you covered. Simply select JSON as data source and paste it there. Add and configure another input for the job title as we did for the previous ones. Let's configure also the button, select it, and give it a meaningful label, like Submit or Send. The second part of the form will be the responsibility of the new hire's team lead to define the hardware and software needed by the new hire, once joined the team. Thus, it must be assigned to a specific individual within the organization. Compared to the first inputs where any HR user can start filling the form, not a specific HR member. For this, we will add a section, and everything that we will add within this section, we will assign to the team lead user. Add a section. And within it, we will configure the rest of the form. A selector input to define the hardware type needed for the new hire. A text area for other details. And another text area to list all the software requirements for the new hire. To give the form a more clean structure, let's add some headings. At the beginning, the HR users will fill in employee details, and one for the hardware and software details. Now, to add the team lead that must fill in the last part, select the section. In the settings, you can configure the Task Assignee. You can set a main assignee from the list. You can also set multiple assignees, in case one of them is out of office. Also, on a section, you can define visibility rules, meaning who can see this part of the form: all users that open the form, only task assignees, or custom. We will go with custom and add the approving manager as well, as we want him to see all details of the form before approval. The last step in our form is to add the approval element. If you need multiple layers of approval, simply add multiple approval elements in the form. Select the element to access the settings panel. You can update the description, add tooltips, to make the instructions clear. Now let's add an approver, the manager of the new hire. Similar to setting task assignees, here you can add multiple approvers, reorder the names as needed. Now that the form is built, you can preview it and interact with it. There is a very useful feature here, Preview As. It will allow you to see how different roles interact with their piece of the form. To make the form shareable, you must publish the form. Copy the URL and let's start the flow. The HR member must paste the URL in browser to start the form flow. They will see only the inputs they must fill in: full name, employee ID, department, and job title of the new hire. And submit. Once the submit button is pressed, they will see a success message. This message can be personalized in form settings. According to the form structure we defined, this form now goes to the team lead to define the hardware and software needed for the new hire. The team lead will receive an email notifying him that his input is required on a specific form. Click the Complete Form button, log into PROCESIO, and go to Forms and Tasks, to the Assign to Main module. Here, the team lead will see the general details of the form and who submitted it. Press Review, and the team lead will see the employee details added by HR, which are read-only, and the inputs to be filled in by him. Upon team lead submission, the form goes to the manager approval step. The manager will be notified via email to go to PROCESIO and review and approve the submission. Logs into PROCESIO, go to Forms and Tasks, in that Assign to Me module. Here, the manager will see the open form's general details. Press Review. Here, the manager will see all submitted information in read-only mode, to be able to make a decision. If all is clear, he can add a comment and press the Approve button. With this last step done, the form is now completed. The manager can see that the tab with open tasks is now empty, as the tasks that are completed move to the Completed tab. Once forms are completed, the admin of the form can go to the Form Designer page and check the submissions received. Go to the specific form, press Submissions, and on this page all the submissions and their stages, completed or pending. To see the form submission, click on the Show Details button. A read-only version of the form opens, where you can see all the details that were filled in by submitters. This is how you can build a form with task assignees and approvers in PROCESIO. Happy automation with PROCESIO!